Hey, thanks a lot for agreeing to talk to us today. I know you're probably pretty busy. You got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, man, my pleasure.
Cool. All right. Well, maybe we could just start by telling everybody a little bit about yourself and how you came to play with the Revivalists and kind of what that's all about.
Sure. I play in a band called the Revivalists. We're based out of New Orleans, and we've been steadily touring around the country, just a little bit out of the country, for the last 4 years, doing about 150 shows a year. We started in 2007, and we are kind of like a mixed bag. We have a really soulful, energetic front man who's like all over the place, and we're kind of like, you know, the Rolling Stones with that sort of stage energy. We have horns, we have a pedal steel player, keys. It's a 7-piece, and stylistically we're a little funky, you know, from that, having that New Orleans influence definitely rubs off on us. And but we don't really limit ourselves with style, because there's so many dudes in the band. We're into so much. And there's so many ways we could write a song. You know, we're kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I listened to some of your stuff, and I really dig it. I actually am familiar with you already. George Geekus and I used to play music in high school together.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we were in this band called Goda. You'll have to tell him you talked to Al.
I will, man. Hey, this isn't live, is it? This is like, this is just a...
Nope, this is not live. Yeah, so you could say whatever.
Okay.
If there's anything too incriminating, we could take it out or whatever. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
what's your last name? Al what?
Teodosio.
So you played with did you go to high school with him?
No, he went to, he lived in Milford. I lived in Oxford. I met him through just mutual friends, and we had this little band called Goda. And, yeah, we just used to play in all the bars in Connecticut and stuff. And then he went to school in New Orleans and kind of fell out of touch. And then I was like, oh, he's in this band. And then, you know, I kind of kept an eye on the Revivalists, and I was like, wow, they're doing really well. And then they're like, wow, they're doing really well.
Awesome, man.
So, yeah. Anyway, so Geekus aside, does he still go by Geekus, or is he just George now?
We usually call him George.
George, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I ever called him Geekus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, anyway, the Revivalists. So you said you're doing 150 shows a year. What are you guys up to right now?
We are home for a brief moment in between. We did 2 weeks in California, and then we flew home. We had our sound guy and tour manager for the run drive back, so we had about 3 days at home. And then as soon as they pulled in, we went out to North Carolina for Blackstock Music Festival. South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Then we were back. I just got back today from spending a couple of days at the beach with my girlfriend's family.
Nice.
And then we're going out tomorrow for another 2 weeks. We're doing we're working our way up to Wakarusa Music Festival in Arkansas.
Nice.
And then yeah, that's going to be really cool. We've been hoping to get out there for a long time. We've heard really good things about that.
So what's it like kind of taking the band from, you know, you said you formed in 2007, and you've been kind of gaining more and more momentum and getting bigger and bigger shows and more shows. I mean, that's got to be pretty crazy.
Yeah. A lot of the growth, I think, has been fairly gradual, you know, just because it's so much of, you know, so much of it is due to the live show gaining momentum and just spreading word of mouth, you know.
Right.
Like, we were just dogging it for years, you know, booking our own tours. We didn't get a booking agent until 2011 or 12. But it's like, you know, I would say we've always had like little moments of success where there would be a big crowd somewhere, and that's always just kind of surreal. and then you just get more and more used to, good turnouts. And then, eventually, and even, to this day, it's like sometimes you'll have these incredible shows on a tour, and then sometimes it's like, a little bit disappointing if there's, maybe 40 or something people in a town that you're not used to playing in.
Right.
But it's definitely been rewarding to see the fruits of our labor.
Yeah, that's cool too. It seems like the really kind of gradual climb is kind of a testament to the band itself, because it's not just like one thing that was really cool for a bit. It's kind of like people are really digging it, and it's kind of catching on.
Right. And obviously there's, certain things have given us big pushes towards like having more people hear of us. Working with the booking agency and the management company and getting us on Sirius XM radio was a big thing. Hopefully we'll make another big jump with the next album's release too. We're pretty excited about that.
Cool. Do you have any dates yet? Do you know when that's going to come out?
We don't have the release date. We're in the mixing process right now.
I gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. We do have a new-ish album out, though. It's City of Sound, which originally was released in 2012. We signed with a record label, and they put that out again, but we put it out with an hour of live stuff. So that's kind of like, it's like a new live album.
Oh, cool.
In addition to that, yeah.
Nice. Zach, if we could switch gears a little bit here. I'm wondering about your rig. What's your main go-to guitar these days?
My main go-to guitar is a 1974 Guild Starfire.
Oh, nice.
It's a semi-hollow body. That's pretty much been my go-to guitar the entire time, and I've just played it. I've had it since I was 17. I've been playing it so long. That's my number one. I've also been using the PRS Starla a lot. I've been playing that every show as well. As the backup, or as the if it's songs in a different tuning, I'll have that up there so I can just pick up the other guitar. That's a very cool guitar. Yeah,
it's kind of like its own thing. It's not really imitating, a popular design or something. It's kind of got its own thing going on. Do you know Paul Reed Smith? Have you ever met him?
I wouldn't say I know him personally, but I did have a funny encounter with him. I met him briefly at the factory. And we were we drove up. We were on tour. We had like a day off in DC, so I drove out to do a little tour, and he happened to be there, and like we were just making small talk, and we at the time were playing this prank on our lead singer, because our lead singer had stayed behind with some family in Georgia to like visit with his nephew, and we were fucking with him the whole time, like in our text message group, like pretending that the van was like broken and that it was going to cost us like all this money to fix. And I just mentioned this to Paul, and he was like, "Oh, can I be the mechanic?"
Nice.
And I was like, "Yeah." And like, because the singer had just called, and I was like, I was like, "Dang, this mechanic is like telling us it's going to cost like $20,000. He's like super pissed." And Paul just got on the phone and was like, "You're gonna need to hold the back end. This end, you guys completely fucked this engine. You put biodiesel in it," and like, and Dave was like, "Oh my God, this is terrible." He's totally freaking out, like consulting his dad and stuff. And I took a video of Paul Reed Smith like owning up to being the mechanic, and sent him the video of it, like, "Hey, I'm not a mechanic. I'm a guitar builder," and he's like holding one of his like sweet, guitars, and I'm Paul Reed Smith. I just pranked you.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I've met him a few times too. We've had him like in the shop, and I went down to the factory. He definitely seems like the type of person who would be up for that.
Yeah.
He likes we like to harass him actually at our shop. We made a few videos of us kind of trying to make him as uncomfortable as we could. And we went down to the factory, and the employees were very happy with us for doing that. But anyway, what about amps? What kind of amps are you using these days?
I've been actually using a PRS amp.
Oh, nice.
The SE50 head, and I've been using the 212 closed back cab. I've been using that for about a year.
Cool. So what do you like about that?
I like that it's a good balance between getting the dirtiness when you need it. I use primarily actually exclusively the clean channel on it, but with the master volume and the channel volume, you can get a really good balance of clarity and a little bit of overdriven warmth out of it. I think it's a really good, like, just straightforward rock amp, you know.
Yeah.
I don't get too crazy with the with like the metal kind of tones. You know, I'm more of a vintage sort of vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you. That's cool.
Yeah.
And what about pedals? Are you into like the whole pedal craze, or are you
Definitely.
more of a
Yeah.
organ? Oh yeah.
Definitely.
That's
yeah.
Cool. So what do you always want to have on stage with you? Like, what's your number one?
I need if like I'm doing a fly date and I need to just take a couple with me, I'll take obviously a tuner, an overdrive pedal, a delay pedal, and a wah. Those are my absolute essentials.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been really into Strymon lately. I picked up their Timeline last summer, and that's like my favorite pedal. It's just this incredible delay pedal that you can do a whole lot with.
Yeah.
Have you messed with that at all?
I don't think so. I've messed with a lot of delays, but that particular one, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Check that out. So
I
what?
use the Sparkle Drive too for the overdrive.
Oh, cool. So you usually use that into the clean channel of the amp.
Yep.
When you want your I got you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do for power?
I have a Voodoo Labs Pedal Power 2 Plus.
Nice.
Yep.
Very cool. So, Zach, I wanted to ask you about what players you were listening to when you were first learning to play guitar. Like, who got you really excited about picking up the instrument?
Yeah. Well, my dad taught me, like, the basics. He got me started, and my brother was super into it at the time, too, my older brother. So I kind of picked up a lot by osmosis from my older brother and my dad. My brother was absolutely obsessed with the Allman Brothers.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so that's been they've been a huge influence on me, almost, you know, not even by choice. I remember at first being kind of agitated by the constant Allman Brothers, but I grew to love it eventually. So I think I've always found Dickey's playing just really pleasant, and you know, his classic, like, major pentatonic kind of stuff in Blue Sky. I like that kind of thing a lot. When I first started playing, also, I was like a third grader, you know, and everyone was saying, I guess they were telling me that you start with the blues, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I really took that to heart and got super into. I would buy all these, like, Best of the Blues compilation CDs, and B.B. King was huge for me as a little kid. I mean, he's still obviously great. And Buddy Guy, I was super into them when I was very young, when I first started.
Nice. That's great. I watched a YouTube video of you and the singer of the Revivalists, and you were playing a Mississippi John Hurt song.
Oh, yeah.
And I really dug that with the finger style stuff. Where does that come from?
Thanks. Yeah, that was my dad taught me all that stuff.
Oh, cool.
The right hand has been, like, my strong suit, I think, on the instrument. I'm more comfortable, like, locking into a rhythm with that than, you know, having the possibility of all the wrong notes that are just always coming up on the left hand. So, yeah, my dad knew how to finger pick and got me started young on it, and always really enjoyed it. And then when I got older, I kind of discovered tapping on my own, tapping with the right hand, and I kind of picked up a few tricks from that as well.
Nice. Yeah, I saw some of that stuff too. It's not like Steve Vai type tapping though. It's like this other kind of thing. It's a lot more melodic.
Yeah. I don't know what I would describe it. What did you? I'm just curious. What did you see?
I was just YouTubing you, and I found one video of you playing a solo piece without anyone else, and it had a lot of tapping. You weren't using a pick.
Extended. That was like the song that I wrote, like exploring how to do that, and I think my approach for tapping is pretty rhythmic. Like I'll pretty much stay with the right hand in the same spot, and I'm just tapping and pulling off about 3 notes, and then I'm changing the chords with the left hand. So I'll find something that works on the chord progression, and then I'll move the left hand. And the other thing that I like to do, we rearranged this song on from our album Vital Signs. This song called "Appreciate Me."
Nice.
And it's like a slow ballad. And what we do now is this trick I discovered is you can like take a bar chord like A, with the root on the low E string, like an A major, and you can just tap 2 frets up with like 2 fingers. With my tapping fingers would be the pointer in the middle on the high E and then the G. So I'll have 2 strings, a string between the 2 tapping fingers. So you tap the 2 strings at a time and pull off 2 frets up from the bar chord, that A major, and then I keep tapping in the same spot, and then I'll go to the 3 of A, so C sharp minor with the root on the A string, on the 5th string, and you can tap in the same spot, and it's in key, and it just creates this really nice effect.
Oh, cool.
So just I guess it's kind of hard to explain that verbally.
Yeah, you did a good job. What did you say was the name of that track?
Appreciate Me. I confuse which one is 1 and 2. It's the slower one.
I got you.
I think it's Appreciate Me 2.
Cool.
Appreciate Me 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to check that out. Sounds.
I don't know if there's a video. Oh, you know what? There is a video. I'm doing it on there's a Jam in the Van video. I'm doing it on acoustic. That came out pretty good.
Cool. All right, I'll check that out. And what about now, Zach? What are you listening to these days?
I've been okay. There's a couple things.
Okay.
Let me pull up my
Lay it on me.
Dolls 516. I like this clip. I've been really into Spotify app, which maybe isn't the coolest, but all right. There's this one song. Oh yeah, David Gray has a new album coming out. I'm a big fan of him, his songwriting, his like poetry. This song, Back in the World, I was like obsessed with for a couple days there. That was like last week, and I probably listened to it like 30 times in a span of 3 days.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of songwriting and lyrics, so that'll be one. On this other song, on sort of a YouTube tangent that I took the other night, there's this like really smart dude who's going by the name D.A.
Yeah.
And he's got a song called Glowing. And I think it's just a single. But the dude, he's like a Harvard grad, and he does all this tech stuff. And he writes all this interesting stuff on his website. And Tyler the Creator directed the music video for this song, Glowing. And it's just really touching tune, like it's sort of a post-apocalyptic love song where, the bombs are going off and, everything around them is turning to dust, and they just don't really care because they're just happy. I just really like the hook of it, like, that they find us 1,000 years from now, and it's like sort of a Pompeii situation where they're just statues. They're going to still find us, just smiling because we don't give a damn. So I really like that. Yeah, I think it's a cool concept.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, I'll have to check that out. D.A., you said?
Yeah, D.A.
D.A., I'll check that out. Cool.
Yeah, it's cool, like Beatles sort of harmony and chord progression and stuff.
Very cool. Zach, what would you do you have any advice for other players? I guess it's more applicable to say kind of upcoming bands, but the other players thing, it works too.
Yeah, I guess to start with players, what's been successful for me is just I guess I haven't stressed super a whole lot about like learning in a traditional way, learning the instrument. I've always just kind of made the sounds that sounded good to me, and I think I had a little bit of talent and focused on like discovering maybe a unique voice on the instrument a little bit. Still the thing I'm searching for, and I'm still striving to be more competent, as an instrumentalist. So yeah, I mean, be studious on the instrument, but also keep in mind that nobody wants to hear a clone of somebody else.
Right.
Yeah. But then also be humble, or I guess humble is the right word, in terms of the people that you're working with. If you're in a band, it's about supporting the other people and elevating the people you're working with. So make sure your part, if it's not like the driving factor, make sure it's supportive, and the same thing with the people you're playing with. Just you should be supportive, and that's gonna help everybody. It might not be the thing that you're necessarily super into right away, but if you can recognize that there's something there, you should try to stay out of the way and not hinder it.
Right.
So I think a lot of times when you're forming a band, you want to surround yourself with people that obviously you're on the same wavelength with and you have a mutual respect for. But even then, there's going to be moments where you're not totally into whatever that other person's doing. But I'd say it's tough to be in a band. Like you have to balance. I guess the sort of the like personal goals or whatever that you might have, and it's about being a team player, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Hey, so before I let you go, Zach, I just want to ask you one more thing. We've been asking all of our everyone we've been interviewing this question. What is music?
Music is humans creating sound for their enjoyment, creating vibrations. There you go.
Yeah, I'll take it. It's good. Yeah, we've only had a few so far, but so far we've gotten the breath of God and the universal language bit, but we haven't gotten sound for enjoyment. So I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, I think. Right? That's it.
Cool. All right. Well, that's great, Zach. If anyone listening, if you haven't checked out the Revivalists already, definitely make sure you do that. They're a very, very cool band with a really unique sound and a lot of energy that you could kind of get just from the recordings online. It comes through there. It has this really special kind of vibe. So Zach, thanks a lot for speaking with us today. Is there anything else that you wanna add?
Not really, man. Thanks, Al. What's your last name again, so I can get?
It's Teodosio, but if you say Teo, he'll know who you're talking about.
I'll see you. All right, cool, sweet. All right, appreciate it, man.
Cool. All right, we'll see you, Zach.
All right.